Today I'm going to show you how to install a leveling kit on a 2004 to 2008 Ford F-150. This is the same procedure whether it's two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Raise the vehicle and remove the front wheels. So 13/16 socket. Start pulling the ABS line away from the brake line, as well as this vacuum hose with the IWE solenoid. Just separate them from their clips. Go. Now remove the brake caliper and bracket assembly all in one. It's held in with two 18mm bolts. Top and bottom. Now just take a piece of rope or something to hang the caliper. Do not let it hang by the brake line. Just tie it off before I take it off. Just pull the caliper. That's out of the way. Remove the rotor too. Just pull this tie rod all the way out. Now you have to disconnect the tie rod. Use a 13/16 deep well socket. Leave the nut on the first couple of threads to protect them, and separate it with a hammer. Just smack the steering knuckle until the tie rod dislodges. Spin the nut back on. Now I do the same thing for the upper ball joint. Take some WD-40 and spray that. It's a little dry. Remove the upper ball joint the same way you remove the tie rod. 13/16 deep well socket. Just leave it on there. A couple turns again. Take your hammer, smack it right there. Take your pry bar, pry down on the control arm, remove the nut. Let it go. Safekeeping. They have to disconnect the sway bar end link. Hit it with some WD-40, so it needs it anyway. Bushing's kind of dry. 15mm deep well socket. Oh, something like vice grips or a wrench to hold the lower part of the sway bar end link. 15mm deep well socket. Remove it. Bushing on there too. And then I have to remove the lower strut bolt. Just spray a little bit of WD-40 on there. Use a 27mm socket and a large crescent wrench to hold the nut. This one is pretty tight. Just leave it in there for now. Remove the 3 15mm upper strut mount nuts. Take this one out last because this whole assembly is going to drop down when it's removed. There's one in the back. You can't really see it, but you can feel it. Be ready to catch this nut because it's going to fly off as soon as this assembly drops out. There we go. At this point you can pull this lower strut bolt all the way out. Just grab the strut, pull it out. I'll take the coil spring spacer from the leveling kit, put it on top and line up the studs. They only go on one way. Just put it on the cart for easier access. Now take the original strut mount nuts. Use some blue Loctite, just a little bit. There. All 3 of them. And then just torque them down. Use a light setting on the impact. Now, take one of the new nuts, just keep it in hand, and take the coil spring, take the strut, figure out which way it goes in there. It only goes in one way. push it until they come through. Studs come through the top. As soon as you get access to one, take that nut and just start it by hand first. So this is just to hold the strut in place. Take the lower strut bolt, pry the strut into alignment with the pry bar, shove the bolt in there. It takes a little bit of working and wiggling. Like that. Just hand thread the nut on for now. Just start the upper strut mount nuts. This particular kit, they're 14mm, but your kit may be different. You know, I torque these to about 35, 40 foot-pounds. They don't have to be super tight, as long as they're tight. These are actually, in this particular kit, these are pinch nuts. And they're never Loctite or anything. Sometimes just gotta punch the fender. Okay, and take a floor jack or screw jack or something. You're gonna have to raise the control arm. Get it on there in a way that the steering knuckle can still move. So you're gonna need to swing it. Right. Start lifting. If you're doing this on a 2-post lift like I am, be very careful because it starts lifting the frame off the post pretty easily. You just want to get it to where you can drop this control arm down, ball joint stud into the knuckle. Take a pry bar, set it in there. Knuckle in place. Just drop it down. Oops. Get it down in there. Until you get a couple of threads exposed. Use a little bit of blue Loctite. Take the ball joint nut, thread it on. For the upper ball joint, just take your pry bar, pry it down, hold the taper in the seat, and tighten it with a hand tool. Once it's seated, then you can torque it down. And I normally take these down to about 100 foot-pounds. Also, it's going to rotate. Now line up the tie rod. Get it in there. Push it in place. And and use a little bit of blue Loctite. Give 13/16 deep and tighten it down. So just kind of hold it up into the taper. Now the sway bar end link, get that bushing back on there. And the nut bushing end, start it. And start by tightening the sway bar end link to pull that down. Just get pliers or a wrench to hold it. Just crank it down. Good enough. If you use WD-40 on any of these nuts, clean them off with some brake cleaner so that the Loctite can take. Just let that dry. Put some Loctite on the lower strut bolt. Out for easier access. Take the crescent wrench and hold the nut. And again, take a 27mm and just start it. I torque this bolt to at least 250 foot-pounds. Impact usually gets it kind of close. At this point you can get rid of the jack. If you took it off, replace the brake rotor. Double nuts hold it in place. Grab the caliper, untie it, bolts lined up. A little bit of blue Loctite. Same thing on the other one. Run these down with a ratchet, 18mm, and take these down to 150 foot-pounds. I reattach the ABS cable and the IWE vacuum lines. their clips. Double check everything. You don't want to take any chances when it comes to suspension. Alright, now it's time to reinstall the wheel. Torque lugs down in a star pattern to 150 foot-pounds. Let's go back over then. Cover back on. If this video helped you, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching.